Hey everybody, and welcome back to week one. Now we're moving on to module number 2, and I'm going to introduce you guys to your entire business model. And I'm also going to show you from this day forward how to view your business as a functioning system. So in this module, we're going to look at everything that is a system. So this is all about systems, how to view your business and how to look at the entire business model moving forward, regardless of you're a therapist or a coach. Let's set up your entire business model. So here's what we're going to cover. First thing I'm going to introduce you to, and one of the most important shifts that you need to make in your mind and how you view your system, is to realize that your system and your business is just that. It is a system that is made up of inputs, processes, outputs, and an asymmetry system, which I've designed for you. Next, we're going to look at systems thinking, how to think like a systems thinker through a systems lens. Next, becoming T-shaped, anti-fragile parts, and compounding momentum and growth. So let's go. So becoming a systems thinker. So guys, I want you to recognize that your business as it stands right now is not a chaotic mess of random things. I want you to understand that everything on the face of this earth, everything in this planet, including you, is made up of systems, large systems and very small systems. From our stars, our planets, the ecosystems and the memo systems are all made up of big systems. But when we drill right down into a certain system, you'll see that it's made up of very small individual systems or very small individual parts. So here with the stars, if we drill down into a stars, we'll see it's made up of quarks and gluons, hadrons. Planets are made up of atoms and molecules. All the way over to yourself, you're made up of things called memons. So everything around you, including you, is a system, and your business is no different. It is not a random bunch of parts put together that we hope will produce income and paid clients. We are going to view every single part of your business as a system, and a system that we can control for the greater good of making money and growing the business. So furthermore, we know that you, like I said, are made up of different systems. Now, if we zoom right out, we see the human being. But if we drill right in, we see things like cells, tissues, organs, organ systems, organisms, and we can drill right down very, very small. And all of these things work together. And if they're all healthy, working together, we have a healthy human being. But if one part of the human being system is broken, let's say it has a virus or a flu or something like this, when we zoom right out, now we have a very sick human being. Over on the right-hand side here, we have your normal housefly that is made up of molecules. We zoom right into the molecule, we see atoms. We zoom right into the atom, we see atom nucleus, protons and neutrons and quarks, and we can keep drilling right in. Furthermore, we can also realize that in nature, systems provide success to other systems. In fact, there's some systems that keep other systems alive. So an example here, if we have like a plant, that in order for this plant to survive, it has to subtract energy from another system, the sun being another system. We call this light energy. And that light energy creates carbon dioxide for us, oxygen and glucose. But if we drill right down into the plant, we can see it's made up of roots, water systems, and mineral systems. So everything we see in this planet, including you and your business, is made up of systems. So like I said before, let's put this in the context of a business. Let's zoom right out. And what we would see is you would say, Scott, I have a business. I have a coaching business and I have a therapy business. But what we need to do is drill right in to see that in order to say you have a successful business, all the smaller parts of that so-called business have to be harmonious. So what does that mean for us? Well, we are going to drill in this program, we're going to drill right into your business. And I'm going to show you not only how to master the business as a whole, but I'm going to show you how to master all the individual parts, make them work together, keep them very healthy. So the better we get at creating health amongst the smaller parts of the business, when we zoom right out, we can see as a whole that we have a very successful business. So you are going to learn to be a master in social media, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn and Instagram, sales, systems, operations, client attraction, scaling, contracts, booking systems and surveys, tracking, asymmetry, accounting, and a hell of a lot more stuff. Because right now, when I speak to therapists and coaches, they'll say, Scott, I'm trying to run a business, but I'm not making any money. And okay, well, that's the 30,000 foot view of the business. But let's zoom in. Are you doing social media? No. Are you doing sales? No. Do you have systems and operation, client attraction? No. You're using contracts and scaling? No. But then they'll say, well, I really can't figure out why my business isn't successful. I have a business, I have business cards, but why aren't clients kicking down my door? It's because they haven't seen that all these individual parts need to be controlled in order to have a successful business. But what's funny is even if people know they have to do all this, they refuse to because they haven't seen the link behind the individual small systems and operations and thus the bigger business. What I'm going to show you guys how to do is drill down so far into your business, master all these little things. So now you can say you have a very successful and thriving business. So how do we do that? Well, let me introduce you to systems thinking. Let's forget about looking at our business as just a random mess of things like marketing and sales and not seeing that these things are connected and how the niche connects to the sales connects to the marketing connects to your virtual assistant, the virtual assistant will connect to your automation. All of these things are interconnected. And if one part is broken, the rest of the system will be infected, just like that human being I talked about before. So guys, take a screenshot of this. This right here on the left-hand side is your business model at a very high level view. Then what we're going to do for the rest of this program, we're going to zoom right into the individual departments of your business, and I'm going to show you how to master all these things. So in order to understand this, I'm going to use a metaphor of like a water pipe. We've got one part of the pipe up here, which is open, that flows down into another part of the pipe, which is open as well. And let's say, for example, using the water pipe metaphor, I wanted to run water from a tap through this pipe in order to get the water to come out the other side. Let's say this was outside of my house and I wanted to run water around the back of my house to my back lawn where I had sprinklers or something like that. Now, if I turn this tap on, no matter how much I turn this tap on, if there is a bottleneck or part of the pipe is broken, what's going to happen? Well, by the time this water flows to the end, it's going to be very, very small, which means I'm missing water somewhere. Something is broken. And business is exactly the same thing. It doesn't matter how much as a therapist or a coach, you put attention into your business. If one part or one department of your business, from your focus, your marketing, your sales, your repetition, your delivery, and your income, if one of those things is off, the outcome of this water is basically just going to dribble out. So what we're going to do is make sure not only your pipe and operations can withstand so much water and so much attention that you flow into this pipe, that you master each part of the pipe so it flows harmoniously. We're basically taking out the bottlenecks. It would be like cleaning the gutters of your house. If it rains a lot, you get weeds and leaves in your gutter and the water just, sprays over. It doesn't go down into the drains or doesn't collect into a water tank. So what we're going to do is clean all the weeds, clean all the leaves, clean all the debris out of your pipe. So if you run water through your drains and through your pipes, it runs without any issues. So let's look at the individual departments of your business. And business is not made up of a lot of things. And if we get all of these things right, this flow of income will not only be enormous, but it will be constant. No more ebbs and flows in your income. So the first department of our business is focus. The next department, we're going to look at your niche marketing. Next department after that is sales and processes. After that is the delivery, repetition, and also income. Now, like I said, if one of these things is off, let's say there's a small hole in the pipe. Let's say there's a small hole in the pipe at the sales process. You just suck at sales. No matter how much focus you put into this, no matter how good your marketing is, if you can't turn strangers into paid clients, you are not going to get any income. So what we're going to do is make sure your pipe flows harmoniously, and you are going to master every part of this pipe. So let's look at what these things are for now. Then we'll dive deeper as we go through the program. So number one, we're going to look at focus. Right now, if you have multiple things happening in your business, we're going to drill everything down to one niche. That should actually say one niche, one price, and one service. The alternative to this is you turn too many taps on, it gets too overflowed too quickly, and all this water just sprays out the side. And then if you're not concentrating on these things, it doesn't matter how many taps you turn on or how many things you have. If the rest of these things aren't healthy and this pipe can withstand that amount of water, the end result is going to be very little income. Number two, marketing. We're going to look at results-driven marketing, which I'm going to show you how to do all the marketing across Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram, all of those things. I'm going to give you a predictable process and script for your sales. You'll know exactly what to say, when to say it, how to turn a stranger into a paid client, how to overcome their objections, and most of all, you're going to learn how to get paid upfront in full so we get cash flow into your business. The next department is number four, which is the delivery. I'm going to introduce you to the MOS. I'm going to show you how to package your service correctly, so you're not spending too much time with clients. I'll introduce you to our 80-20 rule. Number 5, my favorite. Imagine knowing what to do each day, guys, to get a client. Well, that's what I'm going to be teaching you with what I call your daily CGAs. CGA stands for Client Getting Activities. Next is your income monthly goal. We're going to learn how to track everything you do. It's almost like observing the pipe and constantly looking at the pipe to make sure that the water is flowing without obstruction. So we know exactly what your monthly income will be, and we can backtrack from that. How many strategy calls do we need to book? What's your closing rate? Is there any issues with the sales that you're doing that we can fix that will allow more income to flow at the end of that pipe? So guys, hopefully that makes sense. That's just an overview. Please print this out, stick this up on the wall, because this is your entire business. It is no more complicated than this. But what does everybody do? Every therapist or coach that starts the business, they try and get multiple pipes, multiple taps, multiple everything, and their pipe over time just gets so worn out. It doesn't matter how many taps they turn on. They suck at marketing, they suck at sales, they suck at repetition, they suck at delivery. So it doesn't matter how much water they try and put into that pipe, they can't see why their income is so small. We are going to focus on all of these departments of your business, and I'm going to show you how to master every single thing and keep all the weeds and debris outside of your business so you can get a constant flow of income. So the first thing we're going to look at is focus. Okay, if you remember the pipe, the first thing is focus. This is the first resource that we're going to put into this pipe. I'm here to say, guys, if you can't focus on growing the business, you keep getting distracted by shiny objects, bringing in too many niches, too many products, and your focus just sucks. I'll show you how to focus properly. It doesn't matter how much time and attention you put into the business, you will not make money. I know there are therapists and coaches right now that will say, Scott, I'm doing 10 to 12 hours per day, 7 days a week, but I'm struggling to make $500. If that's you, I'm going to show you why that is, and I'm going to show you how to fix it. And it is so super simple. So guys, let's dive into focus. Okay, so moving forward, I want you to understand that everything you're about to do in this program comes down to focus or choice, okay? Business and being a successful business is just choice. But what you choose to do each and every day in your business will define how successful your business is and how successful you are in life, okay? So I'll give you the two models. This is probably for a lot of you guys, you're over here. I'm gonna turn you into this. So let's imagine this metaphor would depict, let's say I have one of these things is worth 1 hour of my time and my focus and my choice per day. Okay. And simply, by choice, if I wanted to grow my business, I could have the choice of doing social media, or I've got the choice to go watch Netflix. Only one of those things is going to help me grow my business. But back to this. So let's say one of these things, one of these hours here is worth 1 hour of my time. So let's say each day I woke up, the therapist or the coach has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours worth of time each day to grow their business. But here's what happens. Because therapists and coaches choose to put their attention, and we're limited as human beings to a very defined amount of time and energy per day. So where you put your time and your focus on what you choose to do is the infinite success that you have or the lack of. But what I see is a lot of therapists and coaches doing so many stupid things each and every day, burning themselves at all the ends of their business, running themselves ragged, getting overcomplicated in things that don't need to be overcomplicated, and wondering why, when they put so much attention into their business, they're only making small amounts of progress. So let's say this therapist or a coach, they have an NLP business, they're doing hypnotherapy, they've got coaching, they've got healing, but they've also got other little side businesses as well going at the same time, like selling CBD oil and, driving Uber, just as an example. So they've got like 3 or 4 different businesses happening at once. And each day, with 1 hour, 1 hour each day of these things, they're putting their attention into multiple niches, different prices, different discounts, one-on-one. They have online programs, doing ads and funnels. They're going to events. They're giving away free things and pro bono. But let's say your goal is to make a certain amount of money per month. That's what this star represents, which is your monthly income. But this therapist and this coach chooses to put their time, 1 hour of their time, into 8 different projects every single day. Thus, they're only making 1 inch of progress in 8 different directions, in 8 different niches, 8 different prices, 8 different discounts, so on and so forth. And not only that, they're dividing up their time into their second business, because this is their passive income business. And over here, they've got another, I help people become certified in hypnotherapy, so they put their time into that as well. We as human beings on the face of this earth are only given a certain amount of time. But isn't it funny how you can look at other therapists and coaches and see the distribution of results is always different? You have one therapist or a coach working 8 hours a day, struggling, and you have another therapist or a coach working 8 hours a day, but crushing it, like fucking crushing it. Why does this happen? Well, it all comes down to focus and choice. You can choose, and you can only choose where you put your attention each day and onto what projects. And you can see this scattered approach in 8 different types of directions, 8 different niches, 8 different funnels, 8 different prices is only going to lead to 1 inch of progress every single day. So guys, I'm going to get you away from this and I'm going to turn you into this. And you can see here by choosing to have 1 niche, 1 price, 1 service, 1 result, and 1 goal each day. If I put my focus into the business for 8 hours, just like this person, I can now make 8 inches of progress towards just 1 goal. So what is that 1 goal? Well, for everybody moving forward, as you'll find out, our 1 goal is going to be your monthly income. So guys, business comes down to choice. If you want to get up each day and attack 8 different things all at once, you will make 1 inch of progress in 8 different directions. If, however, you follow this program to a T, you will make 8 inches of progress every single day, get closer to this monthly goal with only 1 of each, taking out the chaos, the confusion, and the overwhelm. Okay, so business and life is going to come down to choice. You can choose to do multiple different things, or you can choose to master 1 niche, 1 service, 1 price, get awesome at selling, awesome at marketing, know exactly what you need to do to turn a stranger into a paid client, and you'll make that 8 inches of progress per day. I'm going to turn you into this, but again, it comes down to focus and choice. So beyond that, we're going to look at now another system. Now, remember, the tap is the focus going into the pipe. The next department we have to look at is the marketing. And we're going to spend a hell of a lot of time in your marketing process. And I want to give you a system for your marketing. Everything we do, from the focus, the marketing, the sales, the income, the delivery of your services, I'm going to give you an individual system for those things, because we have to learn how to track these things. Without tracking and knowing what to do each day, it means we're at the mercy of just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and not knowing what's happening. So you're going to hear me refer back to this system a lot. Okay. So let's look at the priorities of our business moving forward. We have to understand that survival of our business relies on cash flow. I want you guys getting cash flow into your business immediately. I'm not here to show you how to get free sessions. I'm not here to show you how to be altruistic and give away free things and just help people for no reason. Business cash flow. Cash flow is the lifeblood of your business. We don't get cash flow into your business, guys. You guys go broke and you have to go get a 9-to-5 job. So that's the immediate thing. The second priority of business is growth. And that's what I call revenue. These are things like payment plans or long-term projects. This is how we get income over longer periods of time. So we're going to be juggling both. We're going to get immediate cash flow, but have other projects that'll bring us cash later. So we're always bringing constant flow of cash. Okay. So what this system represents is our inputs, process, outputs, and tracking or asymmetry system. So inside your niche, which I'm going to show you how to do in this week, we're going to get to that very, very soon. I'm going to show you how to find a very profitable niche. Inside that is the environment that our business lives in. Okay. In moving on during the rest of this program, I'm going to show you how important your environment is for your success, like where you work, how you feel about your business, setting up your right office and stuff like that. We'll get into that, but I want to concentrate here first. So in order to get money into our accounts, we're going to go through an input process and output system, and we're going to learn how to track every single thing that you do. So inside the one niche that I'm going to show you how to define, we then have to look at the inputs of your business. So what is an input? This is the tap, turning the tap on. This is what you're going to do each day. This is your marketing. This is what you're going to do each day to get attention on your service and your offer and get the attention of potential clients. Okay. I'm going to introduce you to short-term marketing and long-term marketing. Now, to make it even easier for you, I've done a lot of this marketing stuff for you. Some of this stuff is just going to be copy and paste. You're going to learn how to use Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and you're going to master all of these things. Like, it's going to be fucking insane how easy this thing is and how much inputs you put into your business each day, how much effort, time, and choice you put into your business will result in making more money. Okay. To use a therapeutic metaphor to really explain this, business is cause and effect, guys. If your effect is, I want to earn $10,000 per month, you have to do the causes. The causes are now going to be your marketing. So one big reason why therapists and coaches do not make money is because they don't put enough tension, choice, or focus into their marketing. Now, I'm showing you how to do what's called organic marketing. Okay, so we're going to replicate what a Facebook ad would do or a paid ad would do. So a paid ad is like this. You would pay Facebook to run an ad for you, find people for you, and put your offer in front of them. But you've got to pay, and you've got to pay a ton of money to get that right. So in order to do this for free without having to pay any money on marketing, we are manually going to have to push the button. So instead of paying Facebook to do it for us, which gets crazy out of control and expensive, I'm going to show you how to do it for yourself. Then in week 4, I'm going to show you how to hire a virtual assistant. I'm going to train your virtual assistant for you. You're going to pay $5 an hour to them, and they are going to do 75% of the work for you. So could you imagine paying someone $5 and in return them booking you 2 $1,500 phone calls? You'll never get that ROI with Facebook ads, but that's jumping a little bit forward, but we're essentially going to replicate that in our marketing. I'm going to show you long-term and short-term marketing. From there, once we've done the marketing, we're going to turn this traffic, these inputs, into a process, into sales. I'm going to show you how to do a proper strategy call. The marketing turns into sales. If you suck at sales, no matter how good your marketing is, you're not going to make money because you suck at sales. So I'm going to show you that as well. From there, we're going to track your outputs, which is income. How much cash are you making? I'm going to show you your 80-20 rule, for your delivery. So you're not spending far too long with your clients and making little money. Remember, the longer we spend with clients, as we get into that part of the program, the MOS, the longer we spend with clients, the more we have to distribute that cost over longer periods of time. It astounds me when I see like therapists and coaches having like 12-month programs. And they'll say it only costs $2,500 to, join my 12-month program. Sure, you might get $2,500 up front. You think, yes, I've just got a lot of outputs. I've just made income. But now you've got to distribute that $2,500 over 12 months. And depending on how much work you do for that client, you end up paying yourself just a couple of dollars per activity. No. We're going to MOS your service, less time with clients, make more money and more time to do the inputs. Now, I want to point this out as well before I show you the feedback, then we'll move on. Want to make more money, we do more inputs. We do more marketing, we get more traffic. And we're going to get this very consistent. I'm going to show you how to automate all this stuff. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. At the end of the day, business growth is actually not here. Business growth doesn't happen. Let's imagine this is sitting with your client. Obviously, once you get income, you've got to sit with that client and give them their service. Everybody spends far too long sitting with their clients. Business growth happens here. The more marketing you do, the more sales calls you're going to have, the more outputs you're going to get, the better you get at sales. Okay. So the last thing we're going to look at is feedback and asymmetry. This is crucial because we want to define exactly what steps you need to do each day in order to get a client. So let's say, for example, I do 3 YouTube videos in a week. And from that, I book 2 strategy calls. From those 2 strategy calls, I close 50%. So I get 1 client at, let's say, $1,500. So 3 YouTube videos, 2 calls, book 1, made $1,500. I can then go through asymmetry and feedback and go, okay, did my marketing work? Did those 3 YouTube videos turn into paid clients? Well, they did, because now I've got cash. But what a lot of people will do is they'll say, well, I did 3 YouTube videos. I've got heaps of likes and heaps of shares and people commented. That must mean my business is successful. No, that's the wrong metric to look at. The only metric we're going to be looking at, guys, is cash in your hand. So if I do 3 YouTube videos, 2 strategy calls, close 1, I make $1,500. That's telling me, yes, what I did over here at the marketing worked. So what does that mean? I'm going to repeat that fucking thing each and every day. I'm going to get better at YouTube videos. I'm going to get better at my sales. So now I can create 1 YouTube video, book 3 strategy calls, close all 3 100% and make myself $4,500. That is a system. That is why we track things. Without tracking, each day you're going to wake up thinking, what the hell am I going to do to get clients? Okay, so that's an overview. We're going to we're going to zoom right into the inputs in the marketing, the sales, the cash. We're going to dive straight into and zoom into all the individual parts. And I'm going to show you how to master this thing. And this thing is now going to become your slave. You're going to tell it what to do, and you're going to tell it how much money you want to make. So unfortunately, based on what I told you before, this is generally what most therapists and coaches will do. They'll have this like, Scott, more equals more, which is, okay, Scott, it doesn't make sense to me. If I have multiple niches, multiple prices, it means I'm going to get more clients, be able to impact more people. But in theory, that sounds good. But what happens is absolute chaos. More does not equal more. More equals chaos. So let's say I want to make more money as a business owner. I have no idea about this systems thing, and I think more equals more. I would say, okay, I'm going to wake up each day. I'm going to turn a tap on for my niches, tap on for my marketing, tap on for an online course. I'm going to have one-to-one services here. I'm going to have discounts. I'm going to have free sessions. I'm going to throw on another 2 niches. I'm going to go to events. I'm going to have business cards. I'm going to do a mindset course. I'm going to do all of these different things. I'm going to turn all of these taps on. And as you can see here, we can't follow anything. This water is going all over the place. This energy, this time, this focus, these 8 hours of time that I have each day are put into all multiple different directions. And because I'm not looking at the main parts of the business, the departments of the business, I'm ignoring sales. People say to me, Scott, people just will buy my service because I give out good energy. Yeah, good fucking luck with that. Because they're not mastering sales. Scott, I don't want to do sales. Scott, I don't know how to track. I don't know how to do marketing. What's important, Scott, as long as I put out enough niches, enough prices, enough people will buy my services. And what happens, guys? Those departments get clogged up. All these pipes lead to dead ends. Everything starts to break. More is more, but all that happens is a small amount of income just drips out. The therapist or coach sees this, doesn't look right into the business and see what's missing, and they just assume, I'll put more taps on, more time, 12 hours a day, 15 hours a day. I'll hire 4 virtual assistants. I'll add more niches, more products and service. After about 8 weeks of doing that, their business collapse. They wear out. They don't make any money. They blame everything else, and they go get a 9-to-5 job because they lack systems thinking. They lack a systems lens, and they do not see that more is not more, and they do not see the chaos that they have created. So they're not focusing on focus, marketing, sales, delivery, repetition, and income. They're ignoring these things. They just think more niches, more prices, more, but it equals chaos. So we're going to get past this, guys. So remember, we've got 2 business models. I'm going to teach you this, and we're going to avoid this. Focus, one clear pipe, one clear direction to our income instead of multiple things, multiple pipes, multiple everything breaking down, not focusing on what counts. God, I don't want to do sales. I don't want to do marketing. You'll hear it. I mentioned this before, is like you'll see a guru like in my position that'll say, learn how to become a full-time coach, not a full-time marketer. It's impossible. Marketing is a department in your business. If you don't get that right, doesn't matter how many taps you turn on, you'll make no money. Hopefully you guys see my point here. So this is what we're going to create, guys. So now let's look at something called becoming T-shaped. Let's keep zooming all the way in. So what does T-shaped mean? Well, becoming T-shaped is a way of thinking. This is the systems lens. So let's look at someone who is non-T-shaped. And T-shape is a metaphor used by the brothers, I think they're brothers that created Google. When they hire someone, they look for someone who is T-shaped. Okay, and they're some of the richest people in the world, Google is. And they look always hiring someone who is T-shaped, okay, compared to someone who is not T-shaped. And the same thing happens in our business. You need to become a T-shaped business owner instead of a non-T-shaped. So non-T-shaped refers to a person who does not see the connection between all the moving parts of their business system. They just see it as a random act of things. They just say, Scott, I just want to be the therapist. I don't want to do anything else. They do not see that in order to get clients, have a therapy and coaching business, you must become an expert at everything and every single part of the business, zooming all the way in, become an expert in those things, zoom even further in, become an expert in those things. So when we zoom right out, we have a successful business. So non-T-shaped people will never succeed in business. What I'm going to teach you guys to do is become T-shaped. T-shaped, as I've started to do by showing you these slides, is a person who does see the connection between all the moving parts of their business. Every single department is linked together. They must be the therapist, the marketer, the salesperson, the builder, the automator. They've got to learn all of these things and master these things as they understand that all of these things equal getting clients and building a successful business. So if you do not see your business as all interconnected, you are non-T-shaped. If you got into this business saying, Scott, I just want to be the therapist and the coach, I don't want to do all of that other stuff, you'll never succeed. It is physically impossible. You have to become, you've got to wear different hats in this business. You got to wear the therapy hat, the coaching hat, the business hat, the accountant hat, the marketing hat, all the other parts, I don't want to, dive too far into all those different parts. I don't want to confuse you guys, but you sort of see my point here. You have to become fantastic at everything else. Otherwise, your business will collapse. So let's, guys, become T-shaped. So just a metaphor to show you what I mean. The person, if you imagine like a T, that's why it's called T-shaped. This person here on the vertical, I just wants to be the therapist and the coach. And they just think that clients will kick down their door. They only want to be the therapist. They haven't connected these two things together. But the T-shaped person has connected these and created the perfect T. They know that they have to be good at marketing, sales, building an iteration, scaling, accounting, et cetera, et cetera. That's the horizontal. They also know they have to be great at treating clients, but the only way to get the clients is by what's happening on the horizontal. The T-shaped person wants to be the therapist, the marketer, the salesperson, the builder, the automator, the grower, the successful, the dominator. And again, this is what Google looks for in an employee, someone who is not just good at one thing, but is great at everything. Sure, they have their specific niche thing they're great at. That's you guys as a therapist or a coach. But you also have to be amazing and good enough to get the marketing, the sales, the building and iteration. At the end of the day, guys, this is what it is. You become better at marketing and sales, you'll become a better therapist as an aggregate because you'll see more clients. If you want to be an incredible therapist or coach, the only way to become that is to get paid fucking clients. The only way to get paid clients is to master marketing. You see all those things connected, guys. They are not separate. They are all connected together. So we are going to become T-shaped, guys. So now let's look at something called becoming anti-fragile. So I understand moving already at this part of the program, you might be thinking, wow, Scott, I'm getting a little bit nervous. What am I going to do? I've tried to market my business before. I was frozen in fear. What's happening here? Well, I'm going to show you another way to think that'll help you get over this. You're going to hear me say this a lot. You'll hear me post in the group a lot. If someone has, a question, I might say, become anti-fragile. You know exactly what I mean by this. This metaphor right here to be anti-fragile will change your fucking life because business is very volatile. And let me explain what I mean. So we exist in a volatile, fragile, chaotic, and unpredictable world. An example of this is COVID, the coronavirus. That came out of nowhere. Fragile, volatile, chaotic, and unpredictable. No one saw it coming. And unfortunately, all the therapists and coaches that were not prepared for it, unfortunately, their businesses went under. Lucky for our students, they were prepared for it, and we'll show you how to do that online, guys. So even if there is another coronavirus, heaven forbid that there is, your business will withstand, and you will withstand. You'll get stronger. So we exist in a fragile, volatile, chaotic, and unpredictable world, which means that our business is at the mercy of unforeseen circumstances. Becoming T-shaped with systems thinking, we can prepare for parts of our business to take hits and still remain profitable. I'll give you an example of this. The traditional coaches and therapists are taught to hand out business cards and flyers. That was their only source of income. Their marketing online, they weren't doing, or if they were doing, they just sucked at it. So what happened when coronavirus came through? That flyers and business card was taken away from them. Going to the events, going to the business lunches, that was taken away from them because they couldn't leave their house. Thus, their business took a hit. They had no way to build on top of that marketing or fix anything because it's the only thing they knew. They weren't T-shaped. Their businesses went under. Okay? I want to get you guys around that. So even if a bigger thing than coronavirus happens, you're locked in your house for the next 3 months and can't move anywhere, your business can remain highly profitable. So becoming T-shaped with systems thinking, we can prepare for parts of our business to take hits and still remain profitable, regardless of what the world throws at us. So here's some examples of what I mean. Let's look at something called fragile and robust. So what type of attitude do you want to have going into this business? Well, most people are fragile, and that was me too, guys. I was that awkward, fragile, scared of everything guy starting a business. And unfortunately, fragile is like being a wine glass. If I took that wine glass and I smacked it gently on the side of my kitchen bench, what would happen? The glass would break. So an example of this is a therapist who does one Facebook Live, gets a bad comment, because it's going to happen, guys, gets a bad comment, they crumble, they give up, say, I can't handle this. This is fragile. You'll never make it in business if you're fragile. So the opposite might think, well, Scott, I don't want to be fragile. What about I be robust? So let's look at something that's robust. And I'll show you why being robust is also incorrect. You'll never make it in business if you're too robust. So robust is like a metal pipe. If I took a metal pipe and I smacked it on the end of my kitchen bench, what would happen? The pipe would just vibrate, but it wouldn't break. And I think, well, Scott, what's wrong with that? Wouldn't I rather be that? Well, the answer is actually no. You don't want to be fragile and you don't want to remain robust. So what you do want to become is anti-fragile. Okay? And anti-fragile is this person right here, okay, compared to being T-shaped. So what does being anti-fragile mean? Well, I'm going to show you how to create an attitude, a way of thinking in your business, so that if something bad happens in your business takes a hit, you get stronger. If your marketing doesn't work the first time, you don't give up, you learn from it and create even better marketing. Something unfortunate happens, guys, especially in our industry, which is bizarre because, we're therapists and coaches. We're supposed to be all happy and nice to each other. Here's what's going to happen. When you start succeeding, you better believe that other therapists and other coaches, unfortunately, will come out of nowhere and start to attack you if you say you're being successful. You've probably seen this a lot. Our students sometimes go through this as well, which is bizarre for me because what it's telling us is obviously telling us a lot about the unsuccessful people. They're jealous. They don't know how to do things. They're not willing to learn. They're fragile. They're robust. They're not willing to learn. And they start taking it out on successful people. They'll say, how dare you be successful? Therapy is a gift. You should be giving away for free. You shouldn't be talking about, the success and money you're having. But guys, that's business. So being anti-fragile means that if people give you negative comments, you move on, you get stronger. If something doesn't work, you move on and you get stronger. Every time you bring in chaos into your business, which is going to happen naturally, you get stronger. To the extent, I'm going to force you to bring so much chaos into your business so you get so fucking thick-skinned that no matter what is happening in the world around you, no matter how much chaos is going on, you just had a fight with your partner, your kid got an F on their report card, you've got bills to pay, you can ignore all of that and you can get to work focusing your attention and getting things done. You become so thick-skinned, it's like no matter what people throw at you, you can still move on. I think in most cases, what usually collapses first is the person because they're too fragile. Scott, I got a negative comment. I can't run a business if I'm going to get negative comments. I want people to love me. Never going to happen. So guys, I'm going to show you how to become anti-fragile, thick-skinned, a business owner who does not take no for an answer and can weather the biggest storm. So let's look, I'll give you some context, making a market impact, what I mean by fragile and anti-fragile. So another example of being anti-fragile or not are hypnotherapists and coaches too afraid to announce what they do, to go against tradition in their prospective field or let the world know about their new career. This concern is fragile. So an example of this is like, Scott, I'm too scared to come out and say I'm a full-time therapist. If you're too scared there are way bigger demons and devils that you're about to face in business. But if you can't even do that initial thing, my advice is just to give up. Because if you can't even deal with that, business is going to ruin you. Another example of this is really in the marketing. You'll see a lot of therapists and coaches do like the monkey see, monkey do attitude, which is all their posts are happy. Their posts are just fun. They're just regurgitating what other gurus are saying. And even though deep down they know that their clients could book them in and their clients are looking at their content and they're wondering why isn't anyone booking calls with me? I'm creating all this really fun, high five, fluffy content. Why? You're going to get to a point, guys, in your content when your content is going to cause very specific pain. We call this disruption marketing. It's to get the attention of your market with so much noise out there. We'll get more into this in week 2. But what it means is coaches and therapists that are not willing to tell the truth to their clients, pinpoint their pain and talk about their pain because they're too busy just trying to have everybody like them, you will not be able to segregate your market. You'll not be able to segregate your audience. What's going to happen in business, guys, if you follow this, some people are going to love you. Some people are going to hate you. And that's the only way to succeed. Look at like Tony Robbins. You've got, let's say half his audience hates him, said he's a fraud, but other people love him. Why? Because, and I don't follow him to an extent, just is what it is. I don't get motivated by that stuff, but I know what he talks about. He's talking about pain and what life is really like. He's telling the truth to people. We've got to do the same thing. So you can't be fragile. You can't be too afraid to disrupt your market at the thought of, if I say something that might piss people off, they might get angry at me. You're not going to survive in business. Robust is, I'll just agree with what everybody else says. If Another guru saying, I'll just copy and paste it and I'll just agree with it as well. Even though I don't really agree with it, I just don't want to annoy anyone. I want to say neutral. You are not going to survive in business if you're these two people. What I'm going to show you to do is become anti-fragile, a mix of good and bad. You're going to tell people the truth, but you're going to come from a place of setting these people free, coming from a place of pure love and care for your clients. Clients are sick of being lied to. They're sick of hearing all the hype of, in order to be successful in life or overcome your issues, you just have to think positively. People are sick of hearing that stuff, and it's not getting to the core of the issue. Your marketing is going to strike people where it hurts. It's going to get their attention. It's going to frustrate them, but it's going to get them very curious. And that's where I come in and show you how to sell at that curious point. So we're going to become anti-fragile, guys. From this point, you're going to tell your market the truth no matter what, no matter if it pisses them off, no matter if it annoys them, it frustrates them, it makes them happy. Regardless, that's the strategy we're going to have. But if you're too afraid to do any of that, business is going to be very, very hard for you. So we've got to become anti-fragile. Now let's look at compounding momentum and growth. We're nearly at the end of this video. Okay, and this is really setting the tone. In the next video, guys, we're going to dive into action items. We're going to dive straight into looking at your niche, but I need to set the foundation here. So compounding momentum and growth, this is what's about to happen, guys, moving through the program. So time, effort, consistency become a potent formula in business. Most therapists and coaches expect instant gratification over long-term success. They want to create one post on a Monday morning, and that post turn into $10,000. And if it doesn't, they quit. That's not going to happen. I'm going to help you build this long-term success so you can have long-term success in your career. They seem to forget that the effect or effort over time will keep them in business for long term. You must harness the power of effect, cause and effect of time and effort, and live by its rules. This is compounding success. So what do I mean by this? Well, it was Albert Einstein who said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. So what does this have to do with therapy and coaching businesses, Scott? Please tell me. Well, this is what I mean. You're going to hear me use this phrase a lot. What we do today will not show up until the future. So I'll give you a real example of this. I have YouTube videos, guys, that I created 3-4 years ago that are still booking me calls today. That is a compounding time versus effect. At the time when I created those videos, I created them, nothing happened. I gave it a week, nothing happened. 2 weeks, nothing happened. I could have looked at those things and said, well, that was a fucking waste of time. I'm never doing that again. But I understand about compounding time and effect. And I knew at some point, if enough people watch those videos, they're going to book in calls. The more people book in calls, the more people are going to watch that video. YouTube is going to start showing that video more and more and more and more. Thus, I'm allowing compounding time and effect to show up in my business. So what you do today, if it doesn't have an instant result, which doesn't exist, it's not like you have a spoonful of sugar. Isn't that a song? Spoonful of sugar, and it gives that instant high. That's what social media does for us. We want to create a post and we get instant feedback like, you look amazing, this is inspiring, and that gets us all psyched up and excited. But it doesn't allow any time to show up later as any paid call. So we want instant gratification. Forget about instant gratification, guys. You need to put so much effort and time into that pipe, resources in that pipe, before it starts to flow out the other end. Allow time to catch up with you. Okay, so what we do today will not show up until the future. Marketing, doing steady marketing all day, all week, all month. Nothing's happening, nothing happening, nothing happening. And bang, all of a sudden, those Facebook Lives I did 2 months ago are now booking multiple calls. But in the meantime, I didn't just stop. I didn't just make one and then allow time to catch up for later. I did it every single day, day in, day out. I didn't stop. And now over time, I'm compounding on top of compounding on top of compounding, where right now people will tell me, and guys, I'm just using me as an example because this is what's going to happen for you, because you guys said this to me on the phone call. Scott, I watched all of your YouTube videos before I decided to jump on a call with you. Had I stopped making YouTube videos 4 or 5 years ago, that person never would have jumped on a call, because if I was looking for instant gratification, I would have been disappointed and I would have stopped. So time, compounding effect over long periods of time is the ultimate money maker in this business. And you guys have to understand this. But let me show you what most people will do. So remember, this is us, okay? Constant flow of water. It'll eventually come out the other end, but we have to wait. We've got to give it some time. So let's say I do one Facebook Live, okay, which is the blue part here. I get some comments, I get some likes, it goes up and down. Facebook shows it every now and then, more comments, more likes. Comments, likes, shares, dislike, people are talking about it. 1 day goes by, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 7 days, 10 days, 14 days, a whole month goes by and I haven't seen a result. And then all of a sudden I wake up one morning and I've got 4 strategy calls booked. And they tell me it's because of that Facebook Live I did 4 years ago, 4 months ago, or 4 weeks ago, whatever it was. And they say, because Scott, I watched that video, I went and looked at your other content, then your other one. And I've been watching every one of your Facebook Lives every single day. Now I'm ready to book a call. From those 4 calls booked, I get 2 clients, I close 50%. From one action, I build compounding momentum over time that shows up in the future as a sale. If I attempt several actions consistently over time, every single day, I'm constantly building compounding effect that shows up consistently. Effect equals positive. So if you're wondering why I create so much content so consistently, because I know time over long periods of time and the effect of that is my best friend. It is the #1 money maker in my company. And I'm going to show you guys how to do the exact same thing. So let me contrast that with like the chaotic, normal business model that, again, therapists and coaches will follow with all different pipes, all different drains, things linking out, just absolute chaos, but also not allowing time and compounding effect show up in their business. So this is what happens. They pick a niche, which is like anxiety. They make 1 or 2 posts. They make, they don't allow time to show up. They get a couple of likes the first day, a couple of shares, a couple of comments, a couple of thumbs down, thumbs up. They don't get instant gratification. They allow it to last for like 3 or 4 days. Nothing happens, which means they don't get the effect they want, which is, Scott, I want to make money and get a client. What do? They give up. They go ahead and change the niche. Now they go into the weight loss niche. So 1 week they're anxiety, the next week they're weight loss. They do a couple of videos, same thing happens. They get likes, shares, comments over a couple of days. They don't get the effect they wanted, which is negative. Scott, I didn't get a paid client. They give up on that. Now they're the relationship expert. Do another post, couple of likes, couple of shares, so on and so forth. Within the 2 or 3 months, they've exhausted 15 different niches. They've gone all the way back in their business. They've created more chaos. They think, well, of course, if this niche thing isn't working, maybe I don't have to niche at all. Add another pipe, another part, another tap, more energy into this, more energy into that. They say the niching doesn't work. I'm going to give away free sessions, all this sort of crappy stuff that people come up with. The effect is negative. They have not allowed for time and compounding effect to show up. Effect equals negative. So you have to give things time to show up, guys, before we change everything. But your first instinct is to want to niche jump, change things, add more pipes. But I'm going to show you how to resist all those things. That's the confusing business model. Outside the niche, they do it with their marketing. They do paid ads for like a week, spend some money on paid ads. A couple of days later, nothing happens. They give up on paid ads. Paid ad doesn't work. Then they go ahead and create a funnel. They spend 2 weeks creating a funnel. They set that up, get a couple of likes, couple of shares, couple of inquiries. Nothing happens. They give up on the funnels. They say that stuff doesn't work, which it doesn't anyway, but you sort of see my point. Then they go to podcasts. That's the new latest shiny object that everybody says you have to have a podcast in order to be successful. They create one podcast show. It gets no downloads. Nothing happens. They give up on that. Then they go to the next shiny object. They've got to do guest speaking. And they exhaust all of these potential, and these aren't the best ones, like I'm going to give you the ones that actually work. They exhaust potential marketing strategies, allow it to happen for a couple of days. They don't get instant gratification or the effect they wanted, paid clients. Effect is negative. But they don't just do it in their niche and their marketing. They do it in their identity. Remember I talked about identity in video 1? They're a coach. They don't get any clients. They become a coach for a couple of weeks, don't get any clients. I got to go do another certification. I've got to become a therapist now. Do that for a little while. That doesn't show up as anything. Now I've got to become a psychic. They do that for a couple of weeks. So they niche jump, they market jump, they identifying, jumping all over the place. Then they're a motivational speaker, changing things too quickly, not allowing time and the effect of compounding time to show up in your business as a positive effect is one surefire way of not making money in this industry. If you're constantly creating new pipes, new taps, changing things, screwing with the pipe over and over, fixing things, changing things, loosening things, tightening things all over the place, you are going to cause chaos. And if you're in this course, it's probably because you've done these things, because I did them to at one point, but I'm going to show you how to just create one constant flowing pipe that is going to flow seamlessly through the pipe and create the effect of income day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out, to create a long-term business that is successful month after month after month, and you have total control over. So guys, that is it for week 1, module 2. It's all systems. So what's next? I've given you an overview of the program. I now have you thinking in the right way. Let's dive into the action and let's start defining your niche, getting your service right, creating your MOS service, looking at the metrics and the maths of your business. Let's set up all of the systems that are going to help you start making money. Let's get this done as quickly as possible. So let's build out your entire business model, all the systems, the niching, all of that stuff. And guys, let's have some fun with doing this, get through this quickly, then we can start making money almost immediately. So guys, let's move on to the next module.